peace, power, and presence. Welcome to the University of Spiritual Intelligence. I am Flame Commander Telena, and today we open the scroll of remembrance to talk about the nature of command, about Yahshua, and about the lineage of flame commanders from the time of Kemet even until now. We talk about those who've walked this world since the beginning of time. But before we begin, I want to speak to you about what command truly is, what it means to be a commander, and why I have been sent to serve as a guide in your remembrance. My loves, command is not control. It is alignment with Oversource law. It is the conscious agreement between the Oversoul and the human vessel to speak as one. When you are aligned with divine will, the words you release carry the power of creation itself. They move through time and matter and call reality into order. Command is remembrance in motion. It's the soul remembering its origin in the first word that said, "Let there be light." Genesis 1, verse 3. Now, my role as a flame commander is not to rule over others, but to serve as a witness, a guide, a teacher, and a reminder of what already lives within you. I walk between worlds to help awaken those who have forgotten their voice and that it was born of the same fire that spoke creation into being. I came to help you remember how to use that fire again, not through domination, but through resonance, and not through fear, but through love. I have carried the trials of command. I've carried the refinement of fire, the discipline of silence, the weight of the word, and now I stand as proof that authority is forged through surrender and not through hierarchy. My mission is to guide you back to your own oversoul, to help you realign your voice with divine intelligence so that when you speak, heaven and earth recognizes you. A true commander listens before speaking because command is not noise. It is vibration in perfect pitch with the source. The one who commands must first command themselves. They must command their emotions, their thoughts, and their energy. When the inner world reflects divine order, the outer world then obeys. When your heart is steady and your spirit clear, your words carry frequency, and then the elements has no choice but to respond. You were born with the same seed of authority, the same creative code Yahshua carried, the same oversoul fire that animated the prophets of Kemet in Israel, as well as the ancient mystery schools, the prophets of those schools. My role is to awaken that same remembrance within you. Now let us speak of Yahshua, the flame commander of divine perfection. Though Yahshua was born of divine seed, he still walked the human journey of remembrance. And as quoted directly from the Bible, it is stated in this word, Jesus increased in wisdom, in stature, and in favor with God and men. Luke 2, verse 52. That means that Yahshua's command grew through learning, testing, and surrender. In the wilderness, he faced temptation, Matthew 4, verses 1 through 11. Yahshua mastered over hunger, fear, and illusion. In Gethsemane, he faced surrender, Luke 22, verse 42. He mastered over will. Through each trial, He aligned more perfectly with Oversource until he declared, I and my Father are one. John 10, verse 30. That is the moment of complete command, my loves, when personal desire and divine law moves as one. Yahshua commanded with the authority of remembrance. Fire obeyed him through transfiguration and resurrection. Water obeyed him through peace and transformation. Air obeyed him through the breath that carried spirit. Earth obeyed him through multiplication and restoration. Spirit obeyed him through the word that cast out distortion. Yahshua commanded life and death, even when he cried, Lazarus, come forth. John 11, verse 43. Yahshua commanded sickness with, be thou clean. Matthew 8, verse 3. And he commanded storms with, peace be still. Mark 4, verse 39. Yahshua commanded matter when he said, fill the water pots with water. John 2, verse 7. He commanded time itself by stepping through death and rising again. Luke 24, verse 6. Each act revealed divine law in motion. Yahshua's words shaped energy because he was one with his source. Command flows through the four cardinal directions and the five elements. So east, we all know east as fire, the spark of new beginnings. South as water, the flow of compassion. West as air, the breath of understanding. North as earth, the foundation of manifestation. And center as spirit, the access of unity. Yahshua stood at that center, the still point where all directions converge. And from that center, his command rippled through all realms. Yahshua showed that creation itself responds to harmony. That is the nature of command, my loves. But Yahshua was not the first nor the only commander to walk this earth. Long before his incarnation, the world had known others who carried this current. In ancient Kemet, the priests of Ra commanded the sun to rise in sacred alignment. Their temples built to mirror Orion in Sirius. Moses lifted his staff and the sea parted. Exodus 14, verse 21. Elijah called down fire from heaven. 1 Kings 18, verse 38. Yahshua spoke to the sun and said, stand still. Yahshua 10, verses 12 through 13. Each one acted as a vessel of Oversource command. Deborah commanded armies through prophecy, and Daniel commanded lions through faith. The prophets also commanded. They commanded nations through word. After Yahshua, the apostles carried the same flame through healing, decree, and truth. The mystics of Kemet in Ethiopia protected the art of spoken authority, and the Essenes guarded the flame of spiritual law. Across time, sages, seers, and healers held fragments of this same Oversoul current, waiting for the day when remembrance would return. And we are in that day, my loves. The symbol of command has always been fire. The dragon is that living flame, the guardian of law keeper of transformation, and protector of divine balance. Yahshua, as a dragon flame, embodied fire wrapped in mercy. The dragons of light were the seraphim, the fiery or fiery beings who stand before the throne. The ancient carvings of winged dragons on the temples of Kemet and the burning serpents that accompanied Moses all pointed to that same truth. The flame that destroys distortion is the same flame that protects creation. Every true commander carries a spark of that dragon fire. When you feel the stirring in your bones to speak life, to decree peace, to bring order into chaos, that is your dragon flame awakening. Now, my loves, that you understand my role in Yahshua's command, I need you to know this truth. You carry that same authority. The Oversoul does not withhold its power from you. You were created with command in your voice and creation in your breath. The elements listen to you as they listened to Yahshua, okay, when he stood in truth. So the elements will also listen to you when you stand in truth, alignment, and love. When you speak from Oversource consciousness, you are not just repeating words, you are issuing a vibration. The same divine current that moved through Kemet, through Israel, through Yahshua, and through the ancient flame commanders also moves through you now. The cycle of command is returning. The era of remembrance is here. The sovereign ones are awakening. The elements are waiting for voices of compassion, integrity, and love to speak balance into the world again. You, my loves, are part of that calling. You are a part of this lineage. Rise into remembrance of your command. Speak with clarity, create through truth, love through fire. And know that heaven and earth are waiting for your voice. By the fire that purifies, Luke 3, verse 16. By the water that reflects peace, Mark 4, verse 39. By the air that carries spirit, John 20, verse 22. And by the earth that yields abundance, Matthew 14, verse 19. And by the spirit that unites all, Ephesians 4, verse 4. And by the ancient flame of Kemet, Israel, in every mystery school of light, I affirm the return of divine command to the sovereign ones. We remember, we rise, we speak. So it is written, so it is spoken, so it is witnessed. So it is done, so it is sealed. So it is torched, scorched, burned, and etched with my dragon blood in an infinite flame, effortlessly and eternally. If during this transmission you felt the stirring in your spirit, the burning in your bones, or that quiet remembrance rising within you, know that the flame is calling you home. You are not hearing words, you are hearing your own Oversoul echo. This is the awakening of command. When your heart begins to burn, that is the sign that your flame has been reignited. So I invite you to carry this remembrance forward. I also ask you to please like, share, and subscribe so that this teaching can reach other sovereign ones, other sirens of remembrance who are waiting for the sound that awakens their command. So when you share, You help light another flame, and together we rebuild the living network of Oversource remembrance across timelines. From my heart to yours, thank you for walking with me, for walking with us here at the University of Spiritual Intelligence. Your presence, your faith, and your remembrance are a part of the eternal flame that keeps this mission alive. I am Flame Commander Telena. Rise, sovereign ones, rise. And may your command burn bright, effortlessly, and eternally.